back to the Beyond the Surface TV, where we share our stories, our past experiences, our journey, and how God has helped us through the journey. This morning, we're here again to learn and hear from another wonderful personality. My name is Tobiloba Grace Odofin, and I'm here with my co-host, and her name is
Folakemi Yemi Olaniyi.
We're here this morning. Like I said, I'm excited because we'll be learning and we'll be getting a lot of wisdom from our own person, and his name is Pastor Solomon Ughulu.
Ughulu.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir,
Yeah.
for coming to share with us from
Thank
your
you.
wealth of knowledge. Pastor Solomon Ughulu is a family and marriage coach. He is also a businessman. He is the CEO of Tally Interiors. Yes, that is a company that turns your space into artistic and beautiful look that you so much desire. Yes, now it gives, upgrade your lifestyle with the way they transform your space. He's into interiors. I've seen a couple of his works and they are lovely and wonderful. Now, this morning, he will be sharing with us from his wealth of knowledge. This particular episode is focused on fathers. Yes, it's in celebration of Father's Day, and we thought we should also mention it because looking at our stories as individuals, I've shared my own story. She has shared her story. We could see that the role of father is not something that we can overlook. As a matter of fact, it is a major role in the life of people, in the life of human, in the life of children. And so this morning, he will be sharing with us from his wealth of knowledge.
So, sir, I've known your children since they were in our children's church, teenagers, and they're currently youth. And I've seen you parent them on different. Maybe I'll cite an example I had with Essay.
Okay.
One time. Maybe that was around when she was about getting admission, and she didn't quickly gain the admission. And I remembered asking her that, what was Daddy's point of view about this? Is Daddy angry and all? And she was like, no. Daddy said that whatever I'll be doing after school, I should just get started on it anyway. And I saw the confidence that she built in her. So when we're talking about who to bring up for this Father's Day show, you came to mind. Like both of us, you just came to mind because we've seen you play out that particular role in the life of your children. So in our present day world, I for one really want fathers to be very conscious of their role, because oftentimes they are all into providing and just bringing money and that's it. And so when they don't get to be in a space of bringing money, they feel like they don't have any other role, they don't have nothing else to do in the family. Please, I would just want you to, before we go into our questions, I know we have some questions for you, but we just want you to talk about that area, like fathers doing more than just providing.
All right, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here, and first of all, thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I watched a couple of your videos and they're very inspiring. Thank you. So it's interesting that the society's expectation of fathers is really misplaced. I've seen that, and it's heartbreaking because the reality is that the role of the father is far more than financial provision.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, financial provision is the least in the role that the father should play. The first major role that the father should play in the life of the children is providing leadership. The father must be there to provide leadership. Okay, a father must be there to provide discipline. He is the one that sets the boundary. On leadership, is the role model. Okay, on discipline, he is the one that sets the boundary. He has a clear vision of what the family should be like. So a father must be there to provide leadership, to provide discipline, and also to provide. You see, in the family, every child needs validation. If the father is not there to provide validation, the education can be very there. So a father must be there first of all to provide leadership, provide discipline, and then to provide validation for every member of the family. Then financial provision for me is the least, because the reality is that what you invest in your children is more important than what you invest for them. What you put in them is more important than what you leave for them. As a matter of fact, when children grow up, they are more interested in what you leave inside of them that is more valuable when you are gone. Because you can leave houses, you can leave cars. I've seen children sell off houses and cars because they don't know the value of those things.
Yes.
The parents are working so hard. I've seen fathers work so hard trying to ensure that they provide. For most of us, all the houses that our parents built in the villages, who is living in them now? You know, so what you leave in your child is more important than what you leave for them. So every dad should know that at the end of the day, it is what you leave in your child, the deposit you make in them, that is more important than everything else that you can leave for them. Yeah. So very important to know.
Thank you so much, because I really wanted us to pull that out. Like I'm so done with fathers just thinking that they're all about providing. They don't even want spiritual guidance, leading the children to pray, intentionally even being with the children, emotional support. All of those things are just ruled out, and they're all about I went to work, I went to work, I went to work. Like we just need to do more. I'd like to ask our first question, which is what do you believe is the real cost when a father walks away from his children?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. It's very expensive. It's a huge cost, which can be for a lifetime, and it even can be transgenerational. The cost of a father walking away, because it's not just financial, like we've said. It's financial, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual, and it's generational. So if a father walks away from the children, if we start from the emotional aspect and the mental aspect, now the child begins to feel like he's not worth so much. His sense of self-worth drops drastically as soon as the father leaves. And some other children begin to internalize it, assuming that probably they are not good enough. There's a fault with them. They think maybe they are the reason for daddy walking away. Because at that age, they cannot process the situation properly. This is supposed to be the most important person in their life. He has walked away. So it causes them to lose confidence in themselves and even in their self-worth. So the emotional implications are varied. You will find that statistics have it that children whose fathers have walked away are more likely to experience depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. As a matter of fact, research have it that more than 80% of youth who commit suicide are from homes without fathers. Okay? About 63% of youth that are in prison are from homes where the father is not present. So it is a huge impact on the child when the father walks away, because he's like the security system. He's the support system. He's the one that's supposed to validate that child. If he's not there, nobody is validating the child. The child gets validation from outside, begins to seek validation from outside, and he may be seeking validation from people who don't have the value that the parents are supposed to inculcate in them. That's why you find that most of the children that are into substance abuse are from homes where there is no father who's supposed to provide leadership and model for them. So it's huge and can be lifelong experience. For young men, I've described. For young ladies who father walk away, you'll find that most of them tend to think that they are not deserving of love. Okay? So you find them in relationships that are toxic.
Yes.
You find them exposed to teenage pregnancy. People can take advantage of them easily because they themselves don't see themselves as worthy of so much. If daddy doesn't love them, if daddy doesn't think that they are very valuable, why should somebody else think that they are very valuable? So if they find somebody that shows affection to them at all, they are all out for that person. They whatever the person is doing to them, they don't care. I just saw one online yesterday a probably 17, 13 years, I think 15, 16 years old girl who is living with a 45-year-old man. Yes, because the parents are not there for her. And they even have found her to take her away from that man, and she is not willing to go with the mother. Because daddy wasn't there, no man has ever loved her. So the first man that she's seen that to show her love, she wants to spend the rest of her life with the man. Whatever she's going through, she doesn't think as, those things are bad, because in her mind, this is somebody that loves her. So it's dangerous and can be life trauma for people. Some people can never recover from it. Some people recover from it. I saw a man that is 60-year-old who is not married. And the reason he's not married is because he feels that his father was not there for him, and he does not want to bring children to the world that he cannot care for. He doesn't believe he has the capacity to take care of children. So it is lifelong implication. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It is lifelong implication. I'm hoping and trusting that this particular word gets to the right people, because I know that oftentimes during the year we get to celebrate mothers a lot, and sometimes it seems like maybe the role is more important than the role of a father. It is 50-50. There is no one role is better than the other. It is 50-50. Everybody has to bring in their contribution to the table to get the family up and running. So if you feel like, oh, maybe we've seen cases where mothers too are saying they are the mother, they are the father at the same time. At the moment when your children are young, you might actually say those things and get away with it, but it will get to a point when they will need their father. So so we need to not just think about ourselves and our immediate needs out of selfishness. We should please think about the future of our children as well, and let the fathers be a father to them, let the mothers be mothers to them. Thank you so much.
So on that, you see, we live in a society now that we're beginning to celebrate single parents, single mothers, and we tend to celebrate the survivors of such arrangement. Yes, it's true. It's good. Women make effort if the father is not there, if he's late and all of that. It's good to try to put in the best that they can. But that's still not the ideal situation. The ideal situation is that you should have a father figure and a mother figure in the life of a child, for the child to be a wholesome child, valuable and contributing his quota to the society. So no matter what the situation is, as much as possible, if the dad is not there, we should find a father figure in the life of that child. It's very important. The roles are totally different. The impacts are totally different. So let's not over-celebrate what is not ideal. It is good, yes, if you can do it, it's good, but if there is a position that is vacant, let's try and fill it so that the child can. It's for the child we do these things, not for ourselves. So the interest of the child should be more important than our personal interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Another question is, how does a father's infidelity impact children beyond the immediate family?
Oh, that's huge. Its implication is also very, very grave. If a child witnessed the father's infidelity, it shakes their own belief system. Okay, they are beginning to question everything. Okay, is love real? Okay, is marriage worth it? So you hear young people talk online now that marriage is a scam, love is a scam, all of those things. It's from the experiences that they have had and the things that they observe in their own environment. But that is not the truth. That is not the ideal situation. There are wonderful families. Family is still very important. Okay, there's no replacement for family. So a man who has gone along that path has created problem for his children, because now they can grow up thinking that it is normal. Okay, so if he has sons, the son can repeat it. It can become a generational attitude, because
and the girls can get to a point where they feel like it's normal for them to have men.
They have their husbands who are cheating. So they think all men cheat. I've heard ladies say all men cheat, because in their own experience, that's what they see. They see daddy cheat. That is the most important person, the most important authority in their life, and he's cheating on their mom. They believe that every other person is doing it. So it's wrong. It has damaging implication for the children immediately. It has damaging implication for them going forward. Even in our society, people begin to point fingers at them, begin to stigmatize them for things that they did not do. So it is very, very difficult situation that parents put their children in when they engage in these things. Yes, it causes a lot of confusion in the minds of the children. And it takes God's grace, deliberate intervention for you to get those kind of children out of that situation that they have been put in. Yeah.
Exactly, sir.
So I think it also has a way of affecting who they marry.
Of course,
Yeah.
if except God just look, because oftentimes I always don't want to put in God because it's not always all the time. Every child gets to experience that.
Yeah.
But some of us that I just had that grace. I remember when I was in primary three, I concluded that I wasn't going to get married. If what you people are doing is what you call marriage,
yeah.
please, I
Not interested.
But thank God that I was a girl that was always allowed to go to church. So I saw a pastor and his wife. And when I grew up older and got into uni, I started listening to people like Pastor Adeyemi. I would see beautiful couples. I was like, so why are these people different from our own house? So I now started had to, learn how to are these people doing that my own parents are not doing.
Yeah.
But some child will not have the experience or of even giving their life to Christ.
Yeah.
At a young age, or having the level of knowledge that I got to get exposed to. So it's something that is decayed. The fact that I have is a war that I personally still fight all the time. That no, this cannot stay here.
Yeah.
But if you are giving your child a very good, like they won't even know that exists, so they can't even experience it.
Sure.
Unlike some people that would have to intentionally keep fighting it, to overcome it. It's just a lot.
Yeah. See, many people our age probably did not really experience good background as far as family is concerned. A lot of people who are having good family experience right now, maybe 40-60% are people who are using what we call reverse intelligence. So they see what's happened in their parents' marriage and they say, I don't want this. So they are doing everything opposite of what their parents did. That is 10 times more difficult to do than a child who grew up in an ideal family setting and they are open to the world and happy. So what these persons are doing, you are making life more difficult for your children. You are making the journey extremely difficult. And you make it difficult for them to trust people. You are making it difficult for them to hold relationship and have relationships that are going. So people that go through those negative experiences tend to repeat it. It's said that people, do what they hate. They tend to do what they hate. They don't like it, but they find themselves doing it. Parents who are abusive, the children becomes abusive because that's what they have seen. Even though they hate it, by the time they get married, they discover that they are doing the same thing because that's all that they've been exposed to. Except you're using this reverse intelligence to do the opposite, which is more difficult to do. So parents should ensure that they are living examples, that they are role models. That's what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to be role models. Everything we do have implication for our children, whether positive or negative. Until we are conscious of that, we will not live our life the way we are supposed to live it. This life is not for us. Our most important responsibility is for those children, the next generation that we are raising. So we must be deliberate in everything that we do to ensure that life is easier for them and not more difficult. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. The next question I'd like to ask is, in what ways can the law be used unfairly to remove fathers from their children's life?
All right, so is this same wrong perception that men are usually just financial providers. Okay, so even in the eyes of the law, the system is designed in such a way that when there is crisis in the home, uh, custody is usually ordinarily assumed to the mother. So to the father. Yeah, because it's assumed that once he's able to provide funds, they can take care of themselves mother can take care of them. They forget that there's emotional aspect that the man is supposed to. They forget that there's a spiritual role that the man is supposed to play in the life of the children. They forget, that there's leadership role that the man is supposed to play. That validation role that the man is supposed to play. All of that get lost. Okay, so even the law needs to be reorganized in such a way that it takes the role of the father into consideration when these decisions are made, so that there is opportunity for co-parenting, even if the father and the mother decide to go separate ways, that the father has opportunity to make the positive impact he's supposed to make in the life of those children. The rules and the laws should be made not just to favor the man or to the woman, but the children who are the primary beneficiary or the persons who will be disadvantaged by the experience that just happened. So the law, most of the time, is not designed in the interest of the children. It should be designed in the interest of the children, not the woman, not the man. The two of them should have equal access to those children to make positive impact in their life, because that's what counts at the end of the day. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
The next question I'd like to ask is, do you think society underestimates the emotional damage caused by absent fathers?
Yes, definitely. Yes, the society underestimates the emotional role that the father plays in the life of the children. It's reflected in the things that we have shared.
I know we've touched some.
Yes, it's reflected everywhere, because we believe that the father should just provide, the mother will nurture. Yeah, that's the general belief. But the reality is that a child needs both father and mother to grow up and be a useful member of the society. Otherwise, he will become a problem in the society. Yeah, it will become a problem in society. We saw the statistics that more than 80% of youth in prison are youth that don't have fathers. More than 60% of youth that commit suicide are youth that don't have fathers. Okay, so the teenage pregnancy in young ladies increases for those who don't have fathers. The rate of dropping out from school increases for those who do not have fathers. Okay, the tendency for anxiety, for depression, for suicidal thoughts is higher for children that don't have fathers. These are horrible implications. So the society needs to realize that it is not just the mother that is necessary for the emotional balance of a child. A child needs both the father and the mother. And all men, I appeal to you to begin to realize that you are very, very important in the life of your child.
Yes.
You play a major role in the emotional life of your child. If your father was absent, you should not repeat the same error in the life of your children. Your children should not suffer the same things that you suffer. You need to be there and be deliberate to be in the life of your children. And you don't have forever to do this. Your children grow up very fast now, and they leave the house and they are gone. It is what you've deposited in them in this early age that they will carry for the rest of their life. So you are not really a success until you have made positive deposit in the life of your children. You don't have so much to show, because all the things that you are trying to acquire right now, your children can acquire it within a short time. Yeah, I can bet you this generation, there is nothing you are leaving for them. There is nothing that you are leaving for them that is as valuable as what you have deposited in them. Your child can make your 1 year salary in 1 month. So stop running up and down, stop killing yourself. If you die, they will bury you and move on. Invest in the life of your children. They will do 10x everything that you have ever done in your life within a very short. I was watching a young boy yesterday. He's just 19. He bought a car for the mom.
Wow. Yes.
He's not entered university. Online, he's working. He's not Yahoo. He's doing legit business online.
Legit business.
His YouTube account is paying him. There is so much that these children can do if you give them the right environment. They can grow to become anything. But if you are absent in their life, you can imagine what the situation would be. So running around, trying to make all the money, that is just a part of what the child needs. He needs you to be part of his life. You need to be there for him in the school. You need to be there when he is doing his sport. You need to be there. Create the time to be there. Create the time to be there. Be invested in them. Be interested in the things that they are interested in. Be interested in their career. Be available that they can discuss with you, that they can share their vision, their dream with you. You may not fully understand it, but support them.
Yes.
That's all they want.
Yes.
Support them. They don't need a perfect father. They need a present father. You've got to be there for your children.
That's
You've got to be there for your
it.
children.
That's
Thank you so much for sharing that. So it is not about being perfect, but about being
You must be
present.
present. You must be present.
And there's a particular word you used. You said a lot of us don't want what happened in the life of our parents to happen to us. Like some people fight it, because they saw their own father left. Some will now try to make sure that whatever they see there, they do does not happen.
Yeah.
I've seen people say things like, the kind of suffering that I have suffered in my life, I don't want my children to go through it.
Yeah.
And from what you just explained from the last question, I discovered that it is not enough to say you don't want them to also go through that suffering. Now, we also need to now look beyond the physical suffering. Maybe your parents couldn't provide in terms of finance, school fees, food. You feel maybe because your other family had more, and so you don't have access to some luxury like some other family. And so people will say, no, my children must enjoy luxury because this person doesn't have two heads, that kind. So they work hard to make sure that happens. Another thing I think we also need to look at is, while you're running after them, not suffering, you should also pay attention to not being absent.
Yeah.
Because that is one motivation. I know people, that's one motivation men always, no, I suffered. I don't want my children to suffer. All these public boss, I jump molue, I do, people tell stories of how they grew up and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and then because of that, you now put so much energy into getting good lifestyle for them, forgetting that you need to put and deposit some things into them, such that this thing you are now trying to run after don't now it's not what they will now carry. Because I see a lot of people like this, I do real estate. So before you know it, all they need is your documents. You have built it, you are gone. They have sold it, they've moved on. I saw a guy one day wanted to buy an apartment somewhere around the Ipaja. This guy didn't even wait for the alert. I've seen it. I was feeling it was his mom's property. I saw the way the mother paid the money as a civil servant. They gave them the opportunity to spread the payment. So I saw all the receipts. It was supposed to get, the client was supposed to do 10 million naira. He mistakenly did 1 million naira. He just counted zero. He didn't even count the zero complete before the guy jumped to the next street. The client happens to be someone who is God-fearing. I said, oh, so sorry. Before she said, sorry, I made a mistake in the zeros. This guy had gone. He was already in the next street. And I shook my head. I said, God, this woman must have labored to get, because I saw the way the receipts came. You know that it wasn't easy for her. So whatever is put inside the children is very much important more valuable than money.
Yes, like you said, we spend all our time and effort to say, okay, I suffered, my children will not suffer. I've seen many people make that mistake. There is no problem with suffering. Suffering is a part of life. Okay, there's nothing big. It's discipline. Sometimes it's training. So I've seen people who have made some money now, and their children are wayward. They cannot discipline their children. Nobody can talk to the child because daddy suffered or because mommy suffered. Now daddy has money. Anything the boy wants, you give it to him. Any question that he asks must be provided. Everything that he wants is given without asking questions, without knowing the implication of the things you are providing. You are providing all the gadgets. There is no boundary. There is no discipline. You are already spoiling and damaging that child. Because in the real world, that's not how life is.
Yes, sir.
So, parents who are trying to make sure that their children are comfortable, all of us want our children to be comfortable. But it should not be at the expense of their life and future. It should not be at the expense of providing boundaries and discipline. You must be there to provide that boundaries.
Yes.
You must be there to provide the discipline. Even if the resources is so much available, how to manage the resources,
Management.
the discipline to manage the resources,
Yes.
the discipline to multiply, the wisdom to multiply the wealth must be transferred to the children.
Yes.
Otherwise, they will dispose of those things immediately you are gone. Even some people, children dispose those things
While
even
you
while
are
you are
still
alive.
Well, yes, so,
Prodigal
So now
sons
you
of
look like you have
family.
wasted your time, you have wasted your, and
energy.
many people regret their life during the
Yeah.
last stage of their life because they now discover that, so what was all the stress
Stressful.
about? Okay, was it worth it?
Worth it.
Was it worth it? So it's our investment in our children that is very important. I beg fathers to please take the time to invest in your children. Be there for them now. Be there for them because that's the only thing they remember. They only remember the memories that you created together.
Yes.
They only remember the time you came to see them in school.
Yes.
They will not remember how much you give to them. All that is not really very important at the end of
How
the
many
day.
can we remember now?
The things that they will remember is the memories that you created together. So
Yes.
ensure that you are spending time creating those memories.
Yes. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing. You know, I told
you.
you you're going to learn. Today, I want to believe you are getting the wisdom.
Yeah.
You're getting all the instructions. You're getting all the things that we just need to put our lives in order. And I want to believe that fathers are learning from this video. Thank you so much for sharing,
Thank you.
sir.
It's a privilege.
There's this one more question I would like to ask, and it says, can a man still be a good father
Okay.
after failing as a husband? Can a man still be a good father after failing as a husband?
Husband. Yes, I believe that a man can still be a good father even though he has failed as a husband. They are very related roles, but they are not exactly the same roles. The role of a father is different from the role of a husband. So if he failed in the role of a husband, he's not been a good husband to their mother, he has disappointed their mother, he has let her down, the children have witnessed it, and he decides now that he wants to be a good father to the children. The fact that he failed as a husband should not stop him from being a good father to the children. So he should start by owning to his failure. He should, if he messed up in the process, he should accept that he did wrong. Okay, he should accept that he has not treated their mom well. He's not been a good example in that area. So the children know that yes, what it takes to be a man is not perfection.
Exactly.
It is willingness to get better. Because we all will make mistakes. Some persons will make mistake in finance, some make mistake in business, some people make mistake in marriage. Okay, but that does not define who you are.
Yeah.
So the man should own to his weaknesses as far as that is concerned. I even use it as an opportunity to teach the children how not to fail as a dad, as a husband, and use himself as example to teach the children how to be a good husband to their future wives. But then he should spend his time taking advantage of that to now train his children as a real father, providing all of this that we have described. He should be there for them. He should support their dream. He should provide leadership now. He should provide both physical leadership and spiritual leadership. He should be a mentor for them. All our mentors are not perfect.
Yeah, no.
All our mentors that we look up to, they will tell you how many times they failed.
Yeah.
So if he's able to tell the children, this is where I went wrong, this is how I'm trying to overcome it. The children, like I said, they are not expecting a perfect father. They want a present father. They want a genuine father. They need somebody who they can relate to. He will earn the trust of his children if he can open up like that. He will earn the respect of his children, even the respect of his wife, if he can open up like that. So no man should give up on himself because he failed in one area of life. You can always pick yourself up, put in the effort that is required. If you need counseling, if you need therapy, if you need whatever you need to help you get better, you get better at it. Deliberately work on yourself and pick yourself up and be an example for these children. Yes, a man can fail as a husband and still be a good father. It's very possible.
There's a point that I picked from what you just said is that, which means there's this level every man needs to get to where they see themselves when they fail. Because I noticed that men, sorry to say men, I know men have ego. They have ego, and because of that, they don't want to accept
Where they are wrong.
where they are wrong, especially when it's coming from someone who they feel is. Let me not come from a woman, of course. If it comes from a woman, it's kind of hard to accept.
Yeah.
And I think on this note now, men need to, come to this level of accepting that they are wrong and taking conscious effort to
Make it work.
make it work. Correct the error if you can. If you say that, oh, okay, I failed here, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
You don't give up on the entire family. That
Yeah.
okay, I failed in this area, I can succeed in this area. As fathering a child
Yeah.
successfully should not, fine. There's a failure here, you can still succeed here. And that also brings me to the fact that for some women whose fathers, husbands, had walk away out of the marriage, you mentioned that there is a need to look for a father figure for them. There's a need to look for a father figure for them, and which means it's some of them. I noticed that some of them are not even in an environment where their husbands are. You see that they will always want to move far away,
Yeah.
especially because of what they've had together. So I discovered that actually worked for me growing up.
Yeah.
Yes, and my mom was deliberate about making sure that we have a father figure, and that helped because at some point in my life, I sat down and I watched what exactly, how did I navigate?
Like that it
I said,
became better. I
on a
understand that
normal
feeling.
day, on a normal day, it shouldn't
Work out
end
like
this
this,
way. So what happened? Then I sat down, I discovered, oh, this person was actually mentoring me. Because I know
Even
that
on the days where you don't even know what mentoring was
Yeah.
about.
yes, in fact, as a matter of fact, I don't know what mentoring was. This is our pastor, that's Pastor Amos Fenwa. He was our pastor. My mom came to the church, and she got better at life. And I discovered that he was interested. That's one major thing about him. He's interested in individuals' growth, and that's another thing I saw in the life of Pastor David Adeoye. When somebody picks on you and sees that you must succeed, you
Yeah.
just have to. I noticed he was interested in our growth. He was always there with fatherly love and care.
Yeah.
When somebody, for me, it's not about the money. My mom too was okay. She was working. There are some things she would just buy. That wasn't for me. It wasn't the money for me.
Yeah.
It was this vacuum, that I felt there's a vacuum. And so that somebody calls you and say, "Oh, how are you doing?" There was a time I was writing WAEC. I wrote WAEC and I wrote GC, was GC. I'd written WAEC, it was GC. And I've written GC like twice. And I haven't gotten the paper I wanted. That alone can be depressing for a child.
Yeah.
I forget, I don't have a father to say, it was like a struggle. It was like this, the world was going to come to an end. This is someone that will tell me, how are you? How was your paper? How was your paper to move
Yeah.
on from home. But there was nobody to ask me, how was your paper? You understand? There was nobody to say, oh, okay, so what are you doing next? Are you not supposed to be attending some tutorial centers where they will help you, sharpen? There was no one, but that was coming from him. You understand? From spiritual angle, I noticed that there are times when I see some things I don't understand, I share with him. It gives me enlightenment. And from there, I said, okay. So when I sat down, I said, how did I get
You
here?
now realize that
Oh, Jesus.
God gave you a father.
God gave me a father in this man, and it was that was like sometimes
Yeah.
during Father's Day I always appreciate him because at times I send him a message. I'm like, you may not know the kind of role you played,
Yeah.
but you are in my life, but you have played a father's role. You have played a father's role, and for this I am grateful.
Yeah. So you see what you are appreciating now, which you are not able to forget. I'm sure some person gave you money sometime, but those
You
are
didn't
not.
even remember
now
that.
you are remembering
Yes.
the fact that he paid attention to you.
Yes.
That's a lesson for all fathers that are listening to us. what our children will remember is our attention. Were you there? Their interpretation of love is attention. If you pay attention to them, they believe that you love them. So all this running up and down, you slow down and love your children, and let it be an action word. Love is not just an emotion; it's an action. It's a deliberate action. It's a deliberate decision that I've got to be there for my children. I've be interested in everything that they are interested in. You talked about essay, so everything that my children want to be, I was part of it. Every dream that they had, I'm part of it. Every idea that they have, there is no stupid idea. So they have experimented with all kinds of career choices, all kinds of stuff. I was there. There was no why I said it's not good. Okay, let's discuss it. You discuss it with the child. You show advantages and disadvantages. You compare this with this. And allow them to decide. They can never forget that experience. When they become successful, they'll remember you, that it was daddy that decided. So you are remembering that man because he paid attention. He was so all men should pay those attention. That is more important to the child than money. It's very important. It's very important. And that the society also need to understand that for men it's also not very easy, because so many men don't have real role model men that they can look up to. They don't really have any structure or system for, training
How
men.
to be a man.
We don't have many of those kind of opportunities to learn from persons who are successful as men, who have become role model figures that we can look up to in the society. So it's something that I believe that we as men should begin to think about and start to do something about it, because the generation that is to come is dependent on us, and however we do it right now, we affect the future generation. So all men should come together, as many people as possible. If you are passionate about this, I want to request that we make the effort to work together and have opportunity for mentorship for men.
Thank you so much, sir. I know we have touched different areas, different angles, touched area of marriage, fathering, paying attention to the home and all of that. In fact, we've gotten a lot of wisdom from you, and we're so excited and happy. Thank you so much. We're so grateful. Thank you for sharing with us. And we want to say thank you to you for watching. Do well to share this video with someone who this video will be a blessing to. And don't forget to subscribe. It's very important. Subscribe and comment. What are the questions you have for fathers? Even as we celebrate Father's Day, send us a comment to the comment section. We'll be happy to treat those questions. And if there's a topic you'd like us to talk about, drop in the comment section. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. In the spirit of Father's Day, we'd like to say a big shout out to all fathers. Thank you for being such an amazing father. For every father that has been present, we say we love you, we celebrate you. For everyone that maybe have had moments that are not so good, we've heard it from our guests today. You can still be a good father to that child. So please take the road up and do it anyway. And to everyone who are not fathers yet, but they are potential fathers, they have been brothers, sisters in the church, taking care of people that they do not have, they're not blood related, but you have been fathering, you are saving a life. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Till we meet you again in our next episode, stay blessed and have an amazing time. Bye.
Bye.